Hello and welcome back to Between Screenings for all your things films and film festivals and just general fun chat with me and Tom. How are you, Tom?
Very well. I'm very hot, Neil. How are you?
Not as hot. I think you're going to get another heat wave next week, and we
We
are
are,
going to keep a nice steady sort of 23, 24 degrees up here.
yeah, we're looking at 30 degrees over the next few days, and I'm not happy about it. I'll be honest. And it doesn't help that my flat has completely glass walls, essentially. So you know, I'm very warm.
Yet another reason to come back up north, Tom, because next week we ain't getting above 25. I like 25 is perfect.
I think
25 is all you need.
25 might be the perfect weather, but you know where's always perfect, Neil? The cinema
Manchester?
screen.
The
Yeah,
cinema
well, I
screen.
mean, the cinema screen, thanks to air conditioning.
Thanks to air conditioning, apparently in France they were flocking to the cinema during the heat wave for that sweet aircon. Um, and I headed there last week for Supergirl to get some sweet aircon and some Supergirl action. And since we've last spoken, I've also seen the mighty Toy Story in its fifth incarnation on the big screen.
Well, I haven't seen Toy Story, not through lack of trying, but I have been relatively busy at work. Haven't got around to seeing Toy Story. I have seen Supergirl, and I have seen the equally mighty. Some would say it's on a pedestal up there with the Toy Story movies. Jackass, best and last, the fifth movie in the Jackass franchise.
Well, as we know, Quentin Tarantino ranked his top films of the 21st century so far, and Jackass was in the top three, I think.
I mean, the
Might
man's got
have
taste.
Yes, exactly. The original Jackass movie, that is. Okay, so let's seeing as we've both seen it, let's get cracking with Supergirl. And I think those of you who keep up with box office stuff will know that it hasn't done as well as it would have liked to have done at the box office. It's probably now going to struggle to be profitable in terms of during its theatrical run, unless it's got some very long legs. So, yeah, what did you think, Tom? What was your impression when you came out of the cinema?
So I was looking forward to this, or relatively so. Like, this is a movie made for me. I like superhero movies. I think Millie Alcock was great in House of the Dragon. I was looking forward to this, and especially because it's the first non-James Gunn directed thing in the DCU. I think it was important for it to make the superhero landing, and I feel like it sort of lands with a thud. To be completely honest, I felt to me like. Director, is it Craig?
Craig
Yeah,
Gillespie.
Craig Gillespie. I'm not sure quite how firm James Gunn who produced this, had a hand on the tiller, but it felt very much like him doing a version of what a James Gunn movie would look like. You could see all the beats from stuff like Guardians, even to an extent his Superman, without a firm understanding of what makes those things work quite as well as they do. So, for example, there's plenty of Supergirl isn't quite she's not as heroic as her cousin Superman. She's a little bit of a rogue. She's partying with aliens. She swears, all that classic stuff. There's needle drops, really, really quick, frantic action scenes. But it was all like it was done by someone who wasn't really up to doing it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, I know, I know what you mean.
Sorry. Yeah, at times, like, I think the visuals looked really, really muddy. Like, I genuinely was turned to someone at one point during the screening and said, "Can you tell what's happening?" Like, because I just didn't know. And I'm not normally the type of person who picks up on that, but I thought that it was just a real mess. I thought the blocking was bad. I didn't like much of the technical stuff on it. And I think as well, the script was pretty weak. Like, and James Gunn has said no DCU films will go. Is amazing, and I thought that this had a bad villain with a baffling motivation, and the only saving grace on it that stops it being an absolute turd, in my opinion, is Millie Alcock. Genuinely fantastic in this.
Yeah, I would agree. She's brilliant in it. I think she's really great as that character. She really gives you a sense of the character of Supergirl. I mean, the dog's obviously great, but he's not in it long enough because,
No, he's not.
spoiler alert, he's in a kind of coma for most of it, so he's not getting to cause too much mischief. Um, I there were things I liked about it, and there are things I think it struggles with. I think Superman and Supergirl, I think both struggle with the fact that she can basically kick anyone's ass. Like, she's
Yeah,
indestructible. She's got laser eyes. She can beat anyone up. So she's got, I don't know, 100 baddies attacking her, but it doesn't matter because she
yeah,
can just like spin around in a circle, shining laser eyes, and they're all dead. So it take it's a problem with Superman as well. It kind of takes the jeopardy away. Like, Batman is just a guy in a suit, so he can die. Spider-Man, yeah, he's got his Spidey abilities and everything, but he's not like superhuman in the sense that he can't get crushed or can't get shot by a bullet. He still has the ability. You still can have some jeopardy in a Spider-Man fight, but Superman, there's no jeopardy. Other than they're just randomly dragging kryptonite things in, and that was one of the bits that I didn't like. She gets hit again. This is spoilery, so if you don't want spoilers, head somewhere else. She gets hit with kryptonite darts, which we then see start to sort of destroy her red blood cells. In the worst bits of computer graphics, I think in the film.
terrible.
One of them stays stuck in her for ages. I'm just like, pull that one out, love. Like, hurry up and pull that one out. But then all of a sudden, she carries on fighting and basically beats the crap out of everyone with this kryptonite in her blood. And then after the fight, she kind of rises into the sky, and the yellow sun cures her of it all. So that kind of annoyed me a bit. What's interesting is I went with my oldest daughter, Emily, to watch it, and she's not well versed in superhero lore. Like, she's not a big superhero movie fan, but she kind of was interested in this one because it was Supergirl. So it felt like a superhero she could connect with. One of the first things she said to me when we were in the cinema was she looked across at me and she went, "Why is this Star Wars?" Because of those sort of alien environments, all the
Mhm.
characters, it was like we were at Mos Eisley Spaceport at the start.
Yeah,
So she immediately was just like, "This is weird. I thought this was Supergirl. This feels like Star Wars." So that, and I get that. It is an intergalactic set superhero movie, so that's fine. Um, I really liked the fact the stakes were low for the
yeah,
film. For Supergirl, she's going to get the antidote to save her dog, and that's it. I can relate to that. I'm not down with superhero films where they've got to save the universe
yeah, yeah.
or the entire world because I can't. It's too abstract to be bothered about for some reason. Like, I need to save my dog. I'm there. I need to save the entire world. Meh, I don't care. It's kind of this weird. And I actually had this conversation with someone after I got out of the cinema, and then I went on IndieWire, and there was a whole think piece basically saying exactly the same thing. That was the best bit of Supergirl, was that it kept the stakes reasonable. So I liked that about it. The other girl looking for revenge, meh.
So mad.
She wasn't needed. She didn't need to be there.
No,
Just get her dog. The dog could easily have been hurt without that girl being anything to do with the storyline. She was just kind of annoying and kind of got in the way a lot of the time. And the other interesting thing my daughter said when we came out was it's not an origin story of Supergirl, but it also is an origin story of
yeah.
Supergirl because they randomly shoehorn in flashbacks the origin story of Supergirl. And the interesting thing my daughter sort of said after we came out, she's like, I kind of would have just liked to have seen how she got on when she got to Earth. Like, I kind of would have just liked to have actually had that story, like that be the whole story, just
So
an actual origin. And I know we don't do origin stories anymore because apparently that's not cool. We've got to drop these superheroes in midway through their journey, but we've never we've had boatloads of Superman movies. We've had loads of Spider-Man movies. We don't want to see their origins again. But Supergirl, we've not seen her origin. She arrives as a teenager on
Yeah.
Earth, having lived on a fragment of Krypton. Like, she arrives not speaking any English. She speaks Kryptonian, and she has to kind of assimilate, and that's why she becomes kind of a bit of a rebel and a badass. My daughter was like, "Well, that's I kind of would have liked to have seen that, really."
Well, I think you that your daughter's nailed it because, like you say, we don't do origin stories anymore. They fell out of vogue, like because people, oh, we've seen Martha Wayne's pearls hit the floor enough times, which is true. But I am into comic books, and I could not tell you with 100% certainty what Supergirl's origin is. And when they showed us like her escaping, on the city with her parents, succumbing to kryptonite poisoning or whatever it was, I was like, this is really interesting because, like, if Clark is an immigrant, is the story of an immigrant who came to our country and never knew his homeland, then Kara is an immigrant who comes and knows all about, like what it was like back home, and like how does she adapt to living on Earth? And like you say, she doesn't speak English, and you can see like the seeds of an idea there, and you could still do crypto gets poisoned, just make it bloody some Lex Luthor mook. I'm not saying,
Yeah, yeah,
you
yeah.
need to change everything, but I think they've based this on a really, really popular Supergirl comic, like a really critically acclaimed Supergirl comic. And I kind of feel that you can do stuff like this in comics because everyone who's buying a Supergirl book knows who Supergirl is. Whereas we as general audiences are like, well, who is she? Like, and I think as well, whenever we see her with David Corenswet, I know it's her movie. I'm not saying, I wanted more of him, but I love their dynamic. I would have loved to have seen a little bit more of it. Like, does she have, does she have a Clark Kent identity? Like, or does she just, is she always Supergirl? Like, how does that impact Clark's life? There's stuff to be explored that's far
Yeah,
more
but
interesting.
how much did he wanna learn from her? Like,
Yeah,
she's an absolute direct connection back to the home he never knew. Like, she's his cousin. Like, he would what's he gonna learn from her? How does he set her up in,
yeah,
Metropolis? Like, what's that how does that all happen? How does he help her settle in? Like you said, I think there's nothing wrong with this story that Supergirl told, but maybe that could have been Supergirl 2.
yeah, yeah. Like,
And then we could have had an origin story because you shoehorned one in for basically half an hour's worth of the film's runtime anyway.
I mean, you're not wrong. What did you make of Jason Momoa as Lobo, which is apparently a big deal?
I have no idea who Lobo is. Apparently, you weren't allowed to look him in the eyes, but then everyone looked him in the eyes.
Yeah, yeah.
Apparently, he's immortal, and then he managed to get himself locked up somehow. Um, he looked cool riding around on his bike, but I'm not a comic book geek and know nothing of the comic books, and I've never heard about that character before in my life, so didn't get excited about seeing him being Lobo.
Yeah, I was exactly the same, and I know who Lobo is, I should say, and I was like, why would anyone care about Lobo? Yeah, I do think it's a shame because, like you mentioned it right at the top, that this is a bit of a box office turkey. Like, it's currently done 74 mil on a budget of 170, 186. Again, double that for marketing. It's this is nowhere near profitable. I think I read somewhere it's looking to lose 100 mil overall. And I feel like the blame is going to be put on Millie Alcock, or we're going to be told, well, people don't come out for women-led superhero movies, which isn't true. Just people don't come out for, like,
Crap ones.
we have there are, there have been what, more than 50, maybe even 50, 60 superhero movies since 20, in the last like 2 decades. We are bored of this. Like, this would have worked maybe back in 2011. Like, people probably would have been, yeah, that's all right, but now you can't do this anymore. People want something exceptional or better than this. And I feel like, as I say, they're going to blame, the studio heads are going to be like, people don't like women-led superhero movies. That's what it is. And it's like,
Yeah, they're gonna forget about Wonder Woman, which did quite well.
yeah, well, exactly. And it's going to be, well, like, let's just do more Superman, let's do more Batman. And yeah, that's disappointing. Because I say, I'd love to see more of Millie in this role.
Yeah, I think we are going to get to see more of her, but it will just be as a auxiliary character in Superman films.
Yeah,
I
I think
think
that's
that the
probably right.
idea of her, I don't think she'll get another standalone adventure.
No. Sorry, Millie.
But yeah, I mean, feel free to check it out. It certainly wasn't. It wasn't like a 2-star movie. I'd say it's like a 3-star movie
Y
for me.
You know, like, it's not terrible. Like, I sat through it, and at the end, I was like, probably like, it's between a 2 and a 3.
It's
Like,
better than The Flash.
it's better than Flash. Yeah, it's definitely better than Flash. I'll give you that. Uh, and I saw some, like, and I did feel like I should say as well. I do know some people who came out and said they really enjoyed it. That they even thought it was better than Superman. But those people are wrong. So
It, there were lots of it was fun. Like I say, I think when you've got superheroes who are indestructible and all powerful, then it's tricky to have any sort of jeopardy. So you always have to introduce these weird kryptonite things to add any jeopardy in. But um, yeah, I think it. Like you say, it had James Gunn's sort of hallmark all over it, and you wonder how much. I've seen interviews with Craig Gillespie saying, "No, no, it's fully his film," and James was very hands off. But I ain't buying it.
One thing I do think is going to be interesting is, and it's on a slightly different scale. First of all, I mean, like, why Warner's put this much money into a Supergirl movie? Like, I mean, it's baffling. Like, it doesn't need to be this expensive, but it's not. But I will be interested to see, because obviously you always hear whenever something like this flops, superhero movies are over. We've got Spider-Man out at the end of this month. I'll be interested to if Spider-Man, if it doesn't break a bill, will we say it's underperformed for a Spider-Man movie?
Yes,
I think we will. I think you would, wouldn't you?
If Spider Man does like 750, then that's an absolute shocker.
Yeah, I think you're right. And I think that's going to be a little bit of a bellwether for how much are we over these movies now.
Yes, because I mean, Superman only did what 600 and something.
Yeah, 650, something like that. But it opened much stronger than this. It opened to what, 120 mil, I think, or something like that.
Yes.
So,
Um, So, talking about films that are doing well at the box office and will break a billion, Toy Story 5 has been out for just over a week now and is currently sat, I think, at 320 million at the box office or something like that.
not
Um,
bad.
oh no, sorry, that's just the international grosses. It's currently at 606 million uh, worldwide already. So racing its way to being $1 billion movie and the most successful Toy Story movie at the box office of all time.
Wow.
This for me is what Toy Story 4 should have been.
Okay.
So tech's been around for a while. So I'm not giving you any spoilers by saying that the whole premise of the film is tech has entered the toys' lives and they are kind of having to deal with this existential threat to play
Mm,
and imagination of young children. Um, for me, this could easily have been Toy Story 4, and it would have worked really, really well in place of the last one. Because for me, Toy Story 4 is definitely the weakest of the 5 films.
okay.
It kind of yeah, it was. I enjoyed it. And we all know how much I love Forky, um, but I feel like 4 was the weakest. And if you'd had this as 4, you'd be like, oh, okay, I can see a reason to keep the franchise going because this is bringing it into the sort of more modern era. So yeah, the toys have to deal with Lily Pad appearing, who is a tech toy aimed specifically at children, and she's got social media functions, and she's helping. Um, she's helping. What's the girl's name in
Oh,
Toy Story? What's the young
it's
girl's
Bonnie.
name? Bonnie.
Bonnie.
That's it. That's a shocker from me. She's helping Bonnie find a friend because Bonnie's struggling to make friends because she's still got an imagination and plays with her toys, and other kids just sort of turn their noses up and think, "What on earth are you doing?" So Lilypad comes in to save the day and helps her get friends straight away on one of the gaming sort of things she has. But so Lily then, Bonnie then goes to a sleepover, thinking it's going to be loads of fun. She gets to play with her friends, and they'll just sit there staring at their lily pads and don't
Right.
really talk to each other. And Bonnie comes home a bit upset. So it's stuff that a lot of parents deal with, um, and it does it in a really really lovely way. Jessie is the main protagonist in it this time. She is the lead of the film, which is great. Buzz has some great cameo moments. There's an um, absolutely mad sequence with some buzzes that have escaped their box in a shipping container. So a shipping container's crashed on a desert island with a load of buzzers in it, and that is really bizarre, but very fun. So I won't say any more about that because that's sort of a little through line of the film. But no, I really enjoyed it. It's lovely to be back with those characters again. Everyone knows every single one of the characters really well. It's kind of less of an ensemble piece, and it is more just driven by Jesse. You get Woody and Buzz doing their thing, but really it's Jesse's story, and the rest of the toys kind of take
Mm,
very much a backseat.
okay.
Um, which is why I still think Toy Story 3 was probably the greatest of all the Toy Stories, because I think it incorporated all the characters more because they all ended up in the nursery. And we had the peril with all of them, and it was more of a camaraderie film.
Oh,
Whereas I think 4 and 5 have focused more in on individual characters. But yeah, I mean, this will race away to $1 billion at the box office, and we'll probably end up with Toy Story 6.
I'm sure we're gonna get a Toy Story 6, judging by, I mean, yeah, that box office is mad. I know it's been getting good reviews. Like, I've not heard anyone except Clarice Lockery, friend of the podcast, from The Independent, who gave it 2 stars and said this franchise needs to end. But I have heard very positive things from it. Will say, like, I think you're right about, of course, not having seen this. I think Toy Story 3 was the ending of this franchise for me. Like,
Yeah.
I don't need to. I'm not desperate to see this in the same way I was like that movie. But I'm glad you enjoyed it. One thing I do want to I'm curious about is where it lands on Lilypad being a force for good versus, because certainly in the poster she looks like the antagonist. Um, I can't imagine, as much freedom as Disney give Pixar, I can't imagine that Disney would make a movie these days which said iPads are evil because they've got Disney Plus subscriptions that they want to sell. They've got trailers on YouTube that they want kids to watch. Like, so I can't. I imagine that does it meet a compromise at the end that, you know what, maybe there's room for technology and imagination.
Yes.
Of course it does. Of course it does. Right.
Yes, Lily redeems herself by the end of
Right.
the.
Of course. But does it feel cynical? Does it feel like a cynical move, or does it feel far more earned than?
No, it does. No, it's fine. The way they do it, they get away with it. But I
Okay.
would like to have. It would have been very brave for them to just go. Yeah, no, actually, she got rid of Lilypad completely, and everything was way better. Um,
Yeah. I
but
didn't
I
think
mean,
they were gonna
I
do that.
think the bits they have where they sort of show the negatives of it are quite strong. Because they sort of show like a sweeping. They show Bonnie playing with all of her toys and having all of her imagination and fun, and then they sort of do a pan across the whole suburb, and you see in the windows just kids staring at screens, glowing screens, and the
Right.
scene where they go to where she does go to this sleepover, and everyone's just got their lily pads, and the girls just sit there. She's so excited to finally go to a sleepover to get to play with other kids at a sleepover, and she's just so disappointed because they all just sit there staring at their screens, playing games that they could just be sat at home playing.
Home playing, yeah.
Like my daughters have experience of this. Like my youngest Maisie, she used to they hate going to sleepovers because she wanted to play. She wanted to just do silly games and stuff, and she'd get there, and then the other girls would just sit there on their tablets and play games, and it was like, well, why am I here? Like,
What's
what's
the
the
point
point
of
of it?
this? Yeah.
What's the point of this? So I think the redemption at the end is done in a good enough way for it not to feel like they're forgiving everything else that's come before it.
Okay. Alright, that makes sense.
And
Uh,
I do want to go to the cinema to see this, and I've read quite a lot about it. Um, how was Jackass Best and Last?
so I should begin by qualifying that this was my first Jackass movie,
That
right?
is an absolute shocker, Tom. You didn't do the research.
No, I
You've
didn't. I
got
just
to
went
do
in.
the research.
I just went in blind.
Mad.
I and I will say I had an amazing time. Like, I genuinely do not think I've
Of
laughed like
course you
this in
did.
the cinema in forever. It is I mean, it's Jackass. Like, it's people falling off things. It's people, like getting naked and running into cactuses. It's fucking people giving themselves concussions. It's Jackass. The difference this time is that the Jackass crew, I think, are on average age 40 to 50 at this point. And certainly Johnny Knoxville after the last one, because you see his running with the bull from Jackass Forever which hospitalized him and nearly killed him. And he is clearly no longer in a fit state to, slam himself into walls anymore or be hit by giant hands or anything like that.
No, so from some of the reading I did, basically they can do whatever. They can kick him in the balls, they can hit him in the chest, they can do what they want, but he can't get another concussion.
No, he could no. It's and like he's
Like,
getting smacked.
absolutely not.
He's getting smacked in the dick a lot. Like that does happen a lot, and he's getting electrocuted. But they show footage of like Steve-O, like I mean, even like, so yeah, even Steve-O, these people, they're not getting knocked about in the same way they used, they do in the clips. So the way it works is it's a it's a clip show mixed in with some new footage, and it's sort of like bits you've not seen from the TV show, bits you've seen, bits from the Jackass 1.5, 2.5, 3.5 movies, loads of unseen stuff. As I say, I didn't stop laughing throughout it. Like, it's really, really childish. It's really, really, like, gross. It's exactly what you think it's going to be. I watched it in a room full of Jackass fans who were familiar with the other movies. They said it was great. Like, it's not on the same level as Jackass Forever. They think Jackass Forever is better, but they did say that it is oddly poignant if you grew up watching watching this group of friends make dicks of themselves for years. Like, there is something quite poignant in them essentially saying, we're still going to be friends forever, but we've sort of outgrown, like running into cactuses. It isn't incredibly cinematic unless you count a man drinking a full bottle of surgical laxative and then wearing plastic pants and playing Twister with his friend. Cinematic. Yep. However, it has one of the best openings I think I've ever seen ever. Like, genuine, like they show you how they do it at the end, but essentially the Jackass crew move into the scene because the floor underneath them is moving like a
Nice.
travelator, and being moved round by this travelator, and each of them is being thrown into something, as it moves round. And then at the very end, when they say this is the last one, and we mean it this time, they ride the shopping trolley off a cliff basically as fireworks explode all around them. And it was, as even as someone who's not seen these films, like, just quite an oddly moving experience, considering literally 10 minutes earlier you'd seen Steve-O pass a ping pong ball out of his ass. Like, it's a strange experience. I had fun with it. Uh, Listen, it didn't cost a lot to make because Paramount already owned the footage. I think it cost about 10 million. I believe it's made 13 million.
Yeah, and most of that, and my guess is most of that 10 million have gone to the guys.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. There is one thing that, like, I do, because when I worked in a previous life, when I worked at Unilad, we'd write about the Jackass Boys a lot. And obviously, Bam Margera has had some issues around substance abuse, and certainly the death of one of his friends, whose name is escaping me now, who was in the crew back in the day. And they managed to involve Bam Margera in quite an oddly touching way. And his parents were at the premiere, and even though he's not part of it, he's not he's in none of the new footage. He is still part of this movie. And again, people around me were very, very impressed by that. So, I don't think this is going to make any new Jackass fans except me, apparently. Uh,
But you
but
were already a Jackass fan, just not a Jackass movie fan.
yeah, that's true. That is true. So, I had a great time with it. It's probably a 3-star movie, but if you like Jackass, you're gonna like this.
Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna go to the cinema to see it. I might, who knows? I might get out if it hangs around for a couple of weeks, I might make it. But I'm perfectly happy to watch it, on my big TV at home. So, yeah, I think, it is one I do want to see, but it's not one I'm desperate to see on the biggest screen possible. I don't need to see diarrhea on the biggest screen I possibly can.
You don't. You really don't.
So, what have we got coming up? I mean, I'm quite excited for The Invite, which is out this week. Obviously, we're in kind of blockbuster season, so our sort of arty, independent, interesting films kind of take a back seat for a little while because they don't want to have to compete with Spider-Man and Minions. But The Invite's out this weekend, and that does look good. I mean, who wouldn't want to spend some time with Ed Norton and Penelope Cruz, who's already been talked about for a Best Supporting Actress Oscar for the film? So I am excited to go and see that.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. It's got like already 95% on Rotten Tomatoes. Uh, I've heard from people who have seen it. I don't know if I can say what they've said because I'm not entirely sure on what their
Right,
embargoes
fine.
are, but I will say that they felt very positive about it. Really enjoyed the film. I I am not a massive Ed Norton guy, but I think when you watch him in the trailer for this, I'm like, wow,
Oh,
he
yeah,
is
yeah, it looks great.
really funny. Like
Yeah.
he's competing with Seth Rogen. Penelope Cruz also fantastic. Like really, really impressive. So yeah, I mean, it can't be any worse than Olivia Wilde's last movie, can it?
No, I think she said the last one kind of ended up sort of giving her the freedom to make this one in a weird way.
Well, I'm
So,
very glad because don't worry, darling, it just wasn't it.
I don't
Sorry,
think I
Olivia.
despised it as much as you did, but yeah, it wasn't great. Um, and there's a couple of films that premiered at the Manchester Film Festival coming out in the next couple of weeks as well. My Father's Island has been released by Curzon. Not sure how wide that's going to go. And then the fantastic Italian film, The Last One for the Road, about it's kind of a buddy movie. Two old guys want to find somewhere they can have a last drink for the evening. Little buddy road movie as they travel around trying to find that last drink. So that is a great film. So if you can seek that out, that's out on the 10th of July. If you can seek that out, I would do. Also on the 10th of July is Rosebush Pruning, which I saw in Berlin. So check back to the Berlin episode if you want to hear what I thought about that. But yeah, that's out on the 10th of July. On the same day as both of those are out on the same day as the live action Moana. So don't go and see the new live action Moana, because why would you? Go and see either Rosebush Pruning or The Last One for the Road. Or Evil Dead Burn, because that's out the same day as well. Although that's probably too scary for me.
No, surely not, Neil.
Too scary for me. And we're going to do our Odyssey preview in the next one. Yeah,
Yeah,
aren't we, Tom?
yes, we certainly are. I am excited for the Odyssey, and not just because Christopher Nolan said that he wasn't going to do influencer screenings of the movie,
Yeah,
which
I
really
thought
made me
that you
laugh.
might have liked that. Yes,
Yeah,
they are foregoing influencer screenings because Nolan says, I don't need you, so fuck off.
basically, yeah. I wonder how that went down. Yeah, I'll be honest. Like, I suppose at this point, what are they going to do? He's Christopher Nolan.
Yep. Which I do have a lot of respect for it. Right, quickly before we finish, we'll keep it brief than we normally do today. Edinburgh International Film Festival, the world's longest continuously running film festival, still has that accolade after it almost stopped running a couple of years ago. They've just released their lineup. Their lineup comprises of world premieres for their competition. So it must be a world premiere for their competition, but then they've also got some fantastic UK premieres and international premieres as part of the lineup as well. And it looks like a great lineup. If you're going to be in Edinburgh for the Fringe anyway, then pop along because it's the same. It's on during the period of the Fringe in Edinburgh. So if you're heading there for the Fringe as well, head along to Edinburgh International Film Festival and check out some of the films there. If you're not going for the Fringe and you just want to go for the film festival, then that's cool. But expect to pay £1 million a night for accommodation because the Fringe is on and it means it's expensive.
It's
But
going to be a
if
dear
you
old
live
dear.
nearby or you've got somewhere, if you live nearby, you've got somewhere you can stay nearby. Visiting Edinburgh any time of year is lovely. So I suggest you get along. They're opening with The Incomer, which is a fantastic Scottish film with Domhnall Gleeson. Um, I saw it in Berlin, and it's great. I think I raved about it and said at the time, "I bet you Edinburgh get this."
Of
When I
course you
came
don't.
back from Berlin, it's great. Their competition lineup looks brilliant. There's some really interesting films in there. Body Hackers looks really interesting. Um, they've got a load of short films if you like short films, and then they've got some absolute stinkers. No offense to you at all, Edinburgh. I would have programmed it as well. But Her Private Hell, the new Nicholas Winding Refn film, is a stinker. So if you want to go and be bored, staring at neon hued loveliness for an hour and a half, hour and 40 minutes, head along to the Edinburgh Film Festival. So yeah, I mean, I would say go and check out anything in the lineup that isn't that personally. But they've got some amazing conversations. They've got in conversations with Kenneth Branagh. They've got Ewan McGregor. They've got Bruce Dern. So their sort of Screen Talk series is fantastic. So I can't go through the whole program because it's pretty big, but they've put together a really good program, and I think it's going to be a great festival. So head up to Edinburgh in October. In October, don't go in October. You'll have missed
No,
it. In
don't go in
August,
October.
head up in August for the Edinburgh International Film Festival, and yeah, enjoy that celebration of cinema. And you watch the Toy Story. Nope, again, very different film. You watch Train Spotting multiple times because it must be an anniversary or something because they're playing it a lot.
It is it genuinely is the 30th anniversary, and I do know that the casting crew are going to be there, and I think after Irvin Welsh is even DJing, so
Nice.
the full experience, the full Train Spotting experience if you want it.
Yeah. So I'm going to try and go this year. I don't know if I'm going to manage it, but my sister-in-law lives just outside Edinburgh, so I would stay with her because who can afford to stay in Edinburgh during the Fringe? But yeah, I'm going to try and get up for some of it if I can. If not, I'll be supporting from afar because, like I said, it looks like a great lineup, and I know the guys who run it there really have a lot of passion and care for filmmakers and filmmaking and the industry in general. So I'm sure it's going to be super.
Have you been?
And then
Have
after
you
that, we
been to
get
the?
Venice,
Oh yeah, the star-studded ones begin then.
the star-studded one. So it'll be interesting to see what Venice pulls out. What you were going to ask me something then, Tom? Quickly.
I was going to ask if you'd been to Edinburgh before. Well, not Edinburgh, the city, obviously, the film festival.
No, I've not been to the film festival before, so I definitely do want to go there at some point. So maybe this will be the year. It's over the summer holidays though, so it's always hard because kids and all that business. So we'll see. We shall see. Have you seen anything at home, Tom? Any recent classics you've caught up on?
Yeah. I watched Legally Blonde the other day because
Yeah,
the
as
Legally
prep.
Blonde prequel is out this week. In fact, no, it's out now because it's like already in the Amazon Prime top 10. I will say this: Legally Blonde remains it remains a banger. L might be one of the least necessary things we've ever got ever, but the girl playing L in it is really good. Like, and genuinely has
I
the
think
same likable. She's just as likable.
I think the problem
So,
is,
like,
Tom, what's the story of Legally Blonde?
the story. Well, this is the problem, right? So the problem is that the story of Legally Blonde is Elle's origin story. So you don't need an origin story on top of your origin story. But they do sort. uh, She has to go to. She has to go to Seattle, and everyone there is like a moody goth, and doesn't like her because she wears pink.
Is the L at the end of the TV series L the L at the start of the film Legally Blonde? My
So
answer
I've
would be
only.
no, because she's already been through the journey, the story arc that the L in Legally Blonde goes through. So
So
they can't be the same character.
the answer to that one, Neil, is don't think about it too much. Just consume
Yes.
your product and move on.
Yes, I think that is, if this had been like, I don't know, Elle's niece, someone else
Okay.
pointed out, like, it doesn't need to be period, just make it Elle's niece. And then you can have her in it. You can have Reese Witherspoon come back for cameos or something. But what I find interesting with the trailer for Elle is it's like from the world of Legally Blonde. What the
Yeah, that is
fucking
odd.
hell does that mean?
I think that means if this goes well, we'll make more
From the
because
world of Legally Blonde? Like, there's a
th-
world, is there?
so we could do a spin-off of the nail technician who
Yeah.
worked. Yeah, we could do a spin-off on the UPS guy.
Yeah,
How
yeah,
did he get
UPS
those
guy film.
shorts?
Yeah.
Yeah, like these are the questions that people want to know. We get an origin for Bruiser. Like again, I bet you'd wondered where he came from. Well, now I know.
He's a dog.
Yeah, but she gets given Bruiser as like an apology gift for moving to Seattle.
Yeah, but they then move back to LA and she forgets everything she learnt in Seattle because she
Yeah,
has to go through a
yeah,
fish out of water again when she goes to Harvard.
yeah,
It
basically. But
cynical nonsense is what I would say. I mean, I don't think the people who made Elle were thinking of me as their target
no,
audience anyway, so I don't think they
fu-
really care.
funnily enough, when I was at the Pink Carpet Red premiere the other day, they didn't go apologies to Neil when they came up on stage. They just went, "We hope you enjoy this TV show we made."
Yeah. Apologies, middle-aged men, that we've
Yeah,
made this show about a young teenage girl moving to Seattle. We know it will have upset you.
yeah, yeah. It was very specific, but fair's fair. They did say it. How about you? Have you been educating your girls in anything in any of the classics?
I don't know if it was. I'm trying to think if we've watched anything really recently, 'cause there's been a lot of football on, so I've been watching that instead of films. We watched Father of the Bride
Oh yeah.
um, with them, and I forgot how boring that film is.
I remember being shown that in like year 3 at school and thinking, "Is this supposed to be good?"
Nothing
Like,
happens in it.
wow, no,
How
no,
how it got a sequel? Like nothing happens in it. Literally, his daughter gets married.
yeah.
His daughter
We've
comes home, says, "Dad, I'm getting married." He's tangentially involved in planning the wedding, and then the wedding happens, and the film ends. I was like,
we
"What?
all had
Hey, what?"
we all we all had Steve Martin fever back in the day. You can we'll watch him do anything.
It was mad. I was like, that nothing has happened in this film. But it did then mean we got our daughters into starting watching Only Murders in the Building. So
Much better.
I will now be rewatching Only Murders in the Building because they've now started watching that. So we
Well,
can have Steve Martin and Martin Short in that. Great. Steve Martin and Martin Short in Father of the Bride. Not so good.
no. But Selena Gomez, she adds the spice they need.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I love Only Murders in the Building is great. So yeah, I think that's the only. Yeah, I think that's the only film we've seen since like on demand because I think we've had people away or going to parties and sleepovers and things. So
Like you say, it's a busy sports time of year. There's been Wimbledon, there's been football, there's been other bits to distract us.
other bits to distract us, but we've made it to the cinema a couple of times, so we've done well.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
and next time we meet, I'm sure we'll have seen other things, and I'm sure we'll still be between screenings.
Indeed.
So catch us wherever you get your podcasts. We will be talking more film chat next time. I'm sure it'll be just as in-depth and fascinating as this conversation was. So we will see you then when we are between screenings. Bye.
Bye.